Alex Valle, born in 1978. He grew up in LA, California, where he began playing Street Fighter II in the arcades. During the Street Fighter II days, he was not considered a legend. In fact, in his very first tournament, he went 0-2, but he made a real name for himself when Street Fighter Alpha 1 came out. Street Fighter Alpha 1 was the game that saw Vaille's legend born.
Whoa! Now, it was during the Alpha 1 days when Alex Valle met Mike Watson, one of California's top Street Fighter players. Watson will become both a rival and a mentor for the young Alex Valle. In the words of Alex Valle, Mike Watson prevented him from having fun.
Valle also met John Choi Boy. Choi Boy will also become another rival for the young Alex Valle.
Now, amongst all of the arcades in California, one of them will become the place for serious competitors. And that place was Southern Hills Golfland.
Golfland became Valle's turf, the main place where Valle honed his skills as a serious competitor. Slowly but surely, the teenager who just wanted to have fun by relying on pure offense grew to a cold, calculator competitor.
1996, summer. The Cannon Brothers, yes, those Cannon Brothers from Riot Games nowadays, with the help of many community members, organized the first Battle by the Bay, later known as EVO. Yes, that EVO.
The main course of the noon was the Alpha 2 tournament, with a record-breaking attendance of 64 players from all over the USA. Valle and his biggest rival at the time, Choi Boy, were two of the competitors in said bracket, but if Valle was the fire, Choi was the ice. Competitors and spectators were amazed by Valle's offense, which was so relentless that it managed to open up even the most defensive players. Choi also demolished the competition, eventually making his way to the grand finals. And who was on the other side of the cabinet? Well, Valle, obviously. Funnily enough, Choi played Ken and Valle played Ryu. But Valle had an ace on his sleeve.
The fire to Choi's eyes had one secret technique that he had been saving for this tournament in particular. An exploit in which, if you activate your custom combo, or CC for short, just as the opponent is waking up, the CC will become unblockable for the defender, thus granting the attacker a lot of damage on the opponent. This was Valle's ultimate ace, and as I said before, he had kept it a secret for a long time, and thus the technique was named the Valle CC. Imagine being so influential to a game that you get a technique that defines how the game is played, named after you.
Despite this curveball, Choi adapted quickly and even started using the Valle CC during the grand final set. But after the dust was settled, only one warrior stood on top: Valle. Alex was no longer just a teenage bragger. Now Alex was the champion, and he was the undisputed best Street Fighter Alpha 2 player in the US. Mr. Street Fighter was born.
Alex Valle proved that he was not just a one-trick pony. He started playing everything: Street Fighter 3, Marvel vs. Capcom, 3D fighters, proving that he could adapt to different types of games different types of characters and different types of mechanics. But now, let's talk about the other side of this story.
Daigo. Before the beast, there was the monster. Multiple, in fact, 15 to be exact. Well, 14 if you exclude Buleta. Daigo Umehara, born in 1981 in Japan.
The second son of the Umehara household, the son of a nurse and a hospital administrator. The youngest Umehara got into video games because, in his words, he wanted to be just like his older sister.
Daigo didn't show interest in a lot of things as a kid, but one of those few things were video games.
And by the age of 10, his mind was set. Daigo Umehara wanted to get serious about playing video games. But the concept of a pro gamer wasn't really a thing at the time. And so, the young Daigo was walking a path that had never been walked before.
Around this time, Street Fighter 2 was hitting the arcade venues. And with the success of Street Fighter 2, many developers wanted to throw their hat in the ring. And the fighting game craze was on.
So, what was his first fighting game? Well, Fatal Fury.
He started playing every fighting game he could. Street Fighter 2, Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters, everything.
And with every battle, with every opponent, with every round, with every game, with every year, the young Daigo kept improving. Daigo made the game centers his home, but amongst all of the games in the arcade, one fighting game in particular caught his eye. A game of monsters, ghosts, and vampires.
Vampire Hunter, Darkstalker's Revenge, as it's known in Japan. Now 13 years of age, Daigo shifted to playing Vampire Hunter as his main game, and he became a monster. Akihabara Sega Game Center. Daigo sits on the Vampire Hunter's cabinet and never leaves. The 13-year-old won not 50, not 100, not 200. He won 286 times in a row. Nobody could beat him. Challenger after challenger fall at Daigo's feet. The only way he left that seat was because he was kicked out. The game center had to close. Daigo sat down and left the stool undefeated. He won his first tournament in 1997, the Gamest Cup's National Vampire Savior Tournament, beating one of the strongest players in Japan, Nuki, better known as Nuki.
A year later, the young rivals met again, but this time on a different street. Street Fighter Alpha 3, to be precise.
Capcom hosted an official Street Fighter Alpha 3 national tournament. At 17 years old, Daigo entered. He demolished the competition. The grand finals were held in the Tokyo Game Show of 1998. And as I said before, his final opponent was once again Nuki.
Daigo won against Nuki 3-1, but the real prize was an all-paid trip to participate in the Street Fighter Alpha 3 World Championship in San Francisco, California.
The pieces were set. Two giants of the game with completely different personalities, different views of the game, and different cultures were to meet. They didn't speak the same language, but they understood each other through the language of fighting games.
And so, the stage was set. Hundreds of players gathered to play one game, Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Capcom really went all out. They had photographers, hosts, video and sound crew, members from different media outlets.
It was truly the first time Capcom had ever done something like this, at least in the US. And the young Valle played, and played, and played. It wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, Alex Valle stood on top of the USA talent. There was just one player left, and if Valle won against that player, he will become the best Street Fighter player in the world. And that player was the 17-year-old Japanese player, Daigo Umehara. They were no longer just representing themselves, or California and Tokyo. They were representing the USA and Japan. The winner will decide, without a shadow of a doubt, which region was the strongest, Japan or the US.
Daigo began with a custom combo, taking a quarter of Valle's life, but missing the last Shoryu to finish the combo. But it didn't matter. For the entirety of the first round, Daigo controlled the pace, but Valle shook it up and took the second round with a patient playstyle and avoided falling into the cat and mouse game that Daigo was trying to impose. Third round. Valle gets a jump in, pushing Akuma close to the corner, then goes for the forward jump into nothing. Daigo's reactions get the better of him and tries to anti-air with a heavy Shoryu, but the Shoryu misses. It's Valle's time. And with 60 seconds left on the clock, Valle takes another round, this time with a sizable life lead. Fourth round. Daigo activates his CC. Despite not getting a lot of damage, he had the screen advantage. Dive kick into mix-up gets the hit, but it also gets Valle out of the corner in the process. Doesn't matter though, Daigo has the life lead. But once again, his reactions get the better of him. And after an air Tatsu, the heavy Shoryuken from Akuma whiffs again, and Ryu punishes with a crouching medium punch into heavy Tatsu. Akuma is stunned. But after the combo is over, Daigo goes for the offense. But again, another whiff DP seals the deal. Valle wins the first game, and the crowd goes wild. Cali Power did it. He only needs to win one more time. Match 2. Valle starts strong with a CC activation, taking half of Akuma's life. But Daigo retaliates. Both of them could take the first round. Daigo activates, but Valle answers back with his own CC and takes the first round of the second match. Round 2. Both of the players get nothing out of their activation. Now it's time to play some good old footsies. Both players had great neutral, but after a while of just playing footsies, both of them get enough meter to do their own activation. 20 seconds left on the clock. Valle jumps forward and gets air thrown by Daigo. Magic Pixel for Valle, and one last activation for Ryu. Valle gets another round. Daigo is on the ropes. This is the Cali Power. The crowd goes wild. Alex Valle only needs to win one more round. Round 3. Ryu gets 2 anti-air DPs back to back, but Daigo gets a cross-up. And then another cross-up. Daigo might have a life lead, but Valle has meter to activate his CC and delete Akuma's low HP pool. Valle gets a little anxious and activates twice, without much reward. 28 seconds left, and Daigo gets the round with a shoryu. People clap, but it's clear who is the real favorite. Round 4. Little by little, Daigo gets half a life lead, and for the first time in the set, Valle misses an anti-air DP. Daigo punishes and puts Valle in the corner, but after a brief scramble, Ryu is out of the corner throwing Hadoukens, but Akuma activates, and Ryu is cornered once again. Daigo jumps forward and punishes another Hadouken from Valle, winning him another round. The last round of the game number 2. With every hit Valle gets, the crowd cheers, and now the USA representative has the life lead once again. But Daigo keeps fighting. Gets some hits here and there, and Valle activates his CC. The crowd yells in excitement once again, but the custom combo is cut short. Valle wants Daigo to use his CC. Akuma flashes blue. Valle goes for the air Tatsu. This is it. If Daigo misses his DP, Valle wins. And we have seen that this technique has worked before against the 17-year-old in the past. But this time, Daigo doesn't miss. Akuma shoots Ryu down, and Daigo goes for the checkmate. Daigo wins game number 2. Last game, first round. Daigo gets Valle on the right side of the screen. CC activation from Akuma. Valle blocks, but Umehara starts attacking Ryu's guard gauge. And boom! A flash crosses the screen. Ryu guard is crushed, which means he's fully vulnerable to Akuma's attacks. The life lead for the Japanese player is huge. Ryu keeps fighting, but it's not enough. Umehara activates once again and gets the cheap damage kill. Round number 2. Neither player can use his custom combos, so for the first 20 seconds, it's just plain good old footsies. Poking with normals, fireballs, counter poking, but Valle is the first one to get half of his B meter, which means he can use his custom combo again. Valle jumps and activates mid-air, and as soon as he lands, he throws a fireball. But Daigo just gained half of his B meter as well, so he tries to punish the fireball with his activation, but fails. Both players are back to square one. Ryu hits Akuma with his crouching medium kick and wins a round. Round number 3. Fight! Both players move across the screen. Daigo gets a jumping to punish a fireball from Valle. Valle is cornered. Then, a familiar sound rings. Akuma's teleport. It catches Ryu off guard, and again the USA player is on his last pixel. Custom combo activation from Daigo to put Valle on a checkmate situation. And another round goes to the Japanese player. Match point for Daigo. The people cheer for Alex, but for the first time in the set, everything Daigo is doing seems to be working. For the first time, the beast is unleashed. Hit after hit from Akuma lands. Ryu throws a fireball, Akuma blocks and walks forward. Another fireball from Ryu. Umehara reacts and activates his CC, walks forward, and gets the sweep. It's over. Valle lost for the first time after becoming the champ. Californian player lost. Japan was king.
And I think that's all for today's video. I had to record these on-person segments 3 times because I really wasn't happy with the other 2 recordings. Hopefully this is the last time I have to record this. I'm hoping. If you like this video, share it with a friend, subscribe or hit the like button, you know, all of that YouTube things. But yeah, let me know some of your favorite Street Fighter moments in history or some of your favorite FGC moments in general. It doesn't really have to be a match. It can be a character reveal, maybe the first time you saw a clip, something like that. It doesn't really have to be a match between 2 players. I just want to hear about your favorite FGC moments. And if you got any feedback or something like that, let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye. 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 Bye.